Right. Hey, I'm on. Sorry for the late connection. We had some bad weather out here in our city, so we had some connection problems, but we're here. Glad you could join me. I am Shining, your host. Welcome to another episode of Bad to Business. I want to give y'all a second to come in. I got a good message for y'all today. So I'm going to give some people a second to sign in. I don't know if y'all got bad connection too. So let me get myself all the ways together. A lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, it's not really scripted today. Like I told y'all in my last episode, I was trying to be so on point that I was kind of dull. And I don't want to do that. I want to be more of who I am. So today is not really scripted. As you can see, I got my bonnet on today. It's been a beautiful Sunday. I got some things done. I hope y'all was able to get some things done. Me and the fam was able to do some much needed work around the house. So today I didn't, do too much as far as me goes, as far as even the message goes today. I kind of just asked God, I said, Lord, I'm chilling today. And I really don't, I don't have a guest today. I don't really have a set topic. I got some things I want to talk about, but nothing in a direct direction. So, I asked the Lord, what would he want to talk about today? And he's like, you know what, daughter, I'm glad you asked. Um, he was quick with his topic. And God wanted me today to talk about open and closed doors. He's like, China, you know a little bit about that, don't you? I'm like, oh, okay. You're going to use me today. That's fine because I did ask him. And, I guess he's going to make this a testimony day because I definitely know about some open and closed doors. So I just kind of want to share something with y'all today. Hope you can take it into your week. Not trying to get y'all to start a revolution next week. We want to start these post Sundays is what I call them. I no longer claim Mondays too much. It sounds too drony. Like the word itself makes us feel like we don't want to do nothing. So me and the family, we work on post Sundays. So I'm not trying to get y'all too riled up and start a revolution. I got some things about politics I kind of want y'all to know about because I learned some things, and when I learn them, I want to share them. But today is about open and closed doors. Um, one thing I want to just note, and I noted this when I wrote it down, and so I don't want to forget this part. One thing about open and closed doors is I heard a rhyme by J. Cole that said, or a verse that said, "The good news is you went a long way. The bad news is you went the wrong way." We ain't got that kind of time to waste anymore. So we definitely want to go a long way the right way. So I want to talk to y'all a little bit about open and closed doors and what we ask God for versus what we try to make happen. Um, Two totally different things, of course, right? Um, One of the things I was reminded of when I asked God, okay, we want to talk about open and closed doors. Of course, I have my own testimony, but let's talk about it. Let's not just talk about me. I don't want to be the only example. We all have examples. So I don't want to just talk about me. What can we talk about? And again, a testimony is probably the best example because I can tell you more about experience than I could tell you, about yours. I can tell you more about mine than I can tell you about yours. So one of the stories I was reminded of is my story of when I went back to Cali back in 20 about 2014. Well, before then, I had a job opportunity. My job sent me to Cali for some training, some hazmat training. A coworker of mine knew that um, I had family in Cali. I'm sorry, excuse me. And she was like, I mean, if you want to go ahead and do it, because I don't want to take the training. That way you can take the training, see your family, kill two birds with one stone. I was like, bet, I go. So I went. And one of the people that I wanted to see, of course, I always want to see, was my grandmother. And I do say was my late and great grandmother. Love her to death. to the next life, I should say. So I went and did my training, and after the training each day, I was there for about 4 or 5 days. After the training each day, my grandmother would come and pick me up, go have lunch or something, or sometimes I just go back to the hotel. But long story short, one of the days she took me to her house, and her home was not in the best condition. My grandmother has been struggled with weight as well as disabilities, so I know that she's not able to do a whole lot. But long story short, the condition looked like a hoarder situation. And it was very nerve wracking to me. This is also a house I grew up in. Of course, I haven't gone for some years, grew up, lived my life, moved to another state, all those things. Always kept in touch with my grandmother, but never really just been to her house. Even when I traveled to LA, I would come by, see her. She'd be out on the porch and we visit and stuff like that. So never really gave it a second thought. So um, she takes me to her house. The situation is really bad. I mean, really bad. My nerves are on edge. And I'm questioning, and we got family out here. How could they let this situation get so bad? And she basically tells me that she really didn't have any help. So here I go. Immediately in my mind, this is something that I have to do something about. This is my grandmother, a person that's taken care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. She done raised generations after generations. She's been there. This got to be my mission. This is definitely for me. Um, Grandma, I'm coming to help you. I hate that this ever even happened to you. I don't like it. Um, so I made the decision that I was going to go back to California and help her. I had a great job at the time, getting ready to be promoted. Family was solid together. Um, but I made the decision that I needed to help my grandmother. I also had a job at the time. I was working with the airport, so I could transfer, from Atlanta airport to LA airport at the time. So airport to airport, great. Again, I made the decision, and against my coworkers' advisement, against my job's advisement, they like slick sabotage. Like they kind of told the job to not really hire me. It's like the second time I've been in a position like that. But the great thing about God is, as Romans 8:28 tells us, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to tell y'all. Well, the great thing about God, what I did want to tell you is that He opens doors that no man can shut, and He shuts doors that no man can open. So that's a great thing. That's another note about this open and closed doors message I'm trying to give y'all. So even though my job tried to slick sabotage me, I was still able to go. So I made the decision. I had a coworker that was telling me, Shannon, I've been in a situation like that, trying to help my family save the house. Blase, this ain't something you want to do. You don't know me. You don't know my grandmother. You don't know the situation. This is not your business type thing, but thank you for the advice. Real close friend of mine. So I didn't really take the advice offensively, but I just know, different situations. Definitely. So I assumed. But nevertheless, I made the decision to go, got my job to do the transfer, uprooted my family, went with my daughter's father, my kids. We finna go. We get on the road. Whatever don't fit in my car, can't go. That's how determined I was to go. Even told my job, I wish you, would help me out and help me feed my kids when I get there, but I'm going with or without you. And they made the decision to do that. So that's how determined I was to go. My prayer to God was, Lord, let the doors that I need to be open when I get there. I need this to go smoothly, make it a smooth transition. You know, everything that I need to go on, don't, just let the doors be open is what I ask. One thing we got to be careful for is what we ask for. A lot of times we ask for what we want, not what God wants for us. And for those who honestly love the Lord, like we got to remember He is our Father. And just like any of us parents, if our children are doing well or whatever, even against our advisement, we might assist in what they're already planning to do to try to help them, and it don't be so hard on them. So side note, I believe that's what God did. He did open some doors. It was a smooth transition. We had a lot of obstacles and some things to go through. That's a whole nother testimony. But I got there. And against family's approval. So when I got there really wasn't any family that supported. the move, didn't come and see my kids, stuff like that. Like I said, some rough patches, but I believe that this was my mission. So I didn't need anybody really on my team. It was my mission to help my grandmother. As much as she's helped me and done, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's what I'm supposed to do. God didn't open the doors that I asked to be open. And even though just about every door that was open was a struggle on the other side, I prayed for the open doors. And that's what I got. So I believed this was my mission. This is what I was supposed to do. And because the doors were open, and even though it was like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, I just believe that this was a part of the journey. This was a part of the struggle. Don't get weary, don't get tired. This is what you're supposed to do, especially when God puts you on a journey. When God puts you on a journey. So this struggling and stuff, this was supposed to happen. Even though every door is open, I get a high moment, I get a low moment, and the low moments pretty much drag me. But I'm so appreciative of the high moments that I disregard the low moments. Disregard them. Not the best thing to do. Don't disregard, especially when you're praying for discernment. Don't disregard those low times, those things that just don't fit right with your spirit. I talked to some people in my circle, some co-workers, some friends, family, and it seems like we ask for those red flags, and then we go right past them when they pop up. We like, oh, okay, that might just be another obstacle, right? But we believe that if we just keep going, wasting energy, really. But if we just keep going, that is going to work out. All things work together for those who love the Lord. There we go. Romans 8:28. All things work together for those who love the Lord. But let's remember that verse also has the comma. We always like to put a period where God puts a comma. Tend to put a comma where God puts a period too. Open and closed doors. But it's all according to those who are called to his purpose. Again, let me remind y'all that at the beginning of my story, after seeing my grandmother and the conditions and all those things, I made the decision. I made the decision to go. This comes up later because as I'm going through all this cha-cha, this 2 step forward, 3 steps back, as I'm doing all these cha-cha moves, I got tired of dancing. And I wanted to know, when could I sit down? My feet hurt. But there were no chairs. And that's when I started to question my purpose. I had a wise woman that is still in my life ask me, and I was talking to her about it. I'm like, I don't understand why I get good and I get bad, and I get good and I get bad. I don't understand. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm helping. I never had so much strife helping people in my life. I've been able to help people. I've been able to step in and do certain things. This time I wasn't able to do that. Or at least when I did, it was hell to tell the captain, as somebody used to say. So I talked to her about it, and one of the things that she asked me was, well, did you ask God if it was okay for you to come and do the things that you're doing? And I was like, well, yeah, I asked him if he could just open the doors, and then he opened the door. I got the transfer. I did all those things. I was able to sell the things before I left. And she said, okay, but what I asked you was, did you ask God, was it okay for you to come? Was it okay for you to do those things for people? And I had to sit and think about it. And she waited, and I thought about it, and the answer was no. What I asked God was for him to open the doors, make it a smooth transition. I had things happen to me, and it was weird because what I thought was, I'm going back to Cali. As long as God opens the doors for my job, my money, make sure I got a place to stay. I know me. I'm finna hustle, bustle. This Cali, this home. I already know what I'm finna do. I'm finna shake and bake. That's what I'm gonna do. No, not really. I have to remember I have been gone for about a decade. And one thing about Cali is it does shake and bake with and without you. With and without you. It moves fast. There were freeways built, communities built, people moved. I moved in some of the same areas I used to live in, and commutes I used to take, and it was hell. A commute I used to have in 45 minutes took me 4 hours. I cried on the way to work every morning till I had to quit. So salute to all my Cali folks. Y'all do it. Y'all do what you can do. Um, but the point was I didn't ask God. So what I realized was he loved me so much that he opened the door. He opened doors that I asked. Um, but at the least to say he did it to show me that that's not what I wanted. The stumbling blocks I did have before I went in, and he really didn't stop me. I think even if anything, he might have asked me, am I sure if this is what I want to do? I was sure. I didn't believe in the doubt at that time. No, this is my grandma. This was going on. I'm seeing that she could basically die in one of the worst conditions. Um, I'm going back to Cali. Was my decision, mine. And I went through struggles that I never thought I would in life, let alone going back home, right? This is what I'm supposed to be doing though. So how could I be going through these type of struggles and I'm trying to help and hide low, hide low. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's me saying that according to my goal, not his purpose. So I developed something while going through all these different transitions. Oh, they were smooth transitions too. I went through a whole lot of different transitions. Um, one was I slipped into a transition of depression. And it was funny because I remember telling God, I never thought that a life that you've created at your hands, at your breath, could ever hold a place so dark. But we hold that place that's dark. He holds the light. The adversary holds the dark place. You choose. You want to see the light or you want to see the darkness? Well, at the time I was seeing nothing but darkness. It was just bad stuff going on. And needless to say, everything, well, the depression came from everything I attempted to do did not succeed. It did not succeed. The weapons that were formed against me did not succeed either. I stayed prayed up. But the goals that I intended for myself, God didn't even laugh at. The plans I had, God didn't laugh at. I think he already saw that it was going to take me to a dark place to not be able to succeed. So I went into a dark place. My family pretty much, I ain't going to say fell apart, but we separated. We're in a whole nother state at this point. We separated. Things weren't great. So we separated there. Of course, I parted ways with the job. I had a new job and lost that job because the commute was bad. The place I was staying, I, hurt my shoulder. I had to have surgery. So I ended up being off of another job that I was able to get. The place I was staying was willing to work with me, but now I'm on unemployment. It was just really stuff I never experienced. And it left me back with that, but you didn't ask God. You didn't ask God. And I believe that if I would have asked God, he would have stopped me from taking initiative in somebody else's life. We can't do that. We didn't create their life. We can't control it. Um, Now, when I say take initiative in somebody else's life, that goes beyond see a need, feel a need. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, you see somebody who may need some help and you dive in, you put on that cape that your super suit, Frozone and shit, excuse me, and stuff. You put on your super suit and you finna go save the day because that's maybe something you're used to doing, going to jump and help. I went and put on my super suit, but I didn't ask for permission, for purpose even. I didn't even ask for purpose in doing it. My purpose My idea, my decision was to help my grandmother get this house back and everything. And needless to say, like I said, with all the changes I went through, my grandmother still lost her house. I had to move out of it first. Um, One thing I can say about God is, even when we are disobedient, before the comma, all things still work together for those who love the Lord. They will. They will not go the way that maybe you hoped. And most times he wills things on your heart so that you'll want those things, and then he makes those manifest. But it just won't go like that if you don't do it according to the call of his purpose. So, the comma fits in, but it is what it is. So, don't take initiative in other people's lives. Don't try to save the day and, create these plans and manifest what can happen for their lives if you jump in and save the day. Let me do this and let me do that. And if I do this and then try to go this way, uh, God laughs at your plans for your life. I can only imagine how he feels when you're trying to plan out somebody else's. If it ain't your children who he's really giving you control of, and that's only for a little while. And that's the control to lead them back to him so that he can control them from there then on. Give them common sense. Give them the way that they should go so that they'll never come from it. And that's one thing I admired about my grandmother. I was reciting John 3:16 at 3 years old. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believed in him shall not perish but have everlasting life, from the time I hit her door. So again, this got to be for me to help her, save her. And it just wasn't for me. I went into depression because I attempted to do a lot of things that weren't for me to do. And it hurt, and it dismantled me. It did. The friendships I had, they wasn't as solid anymore. The connections I had, they wasn't connecting. Again, I had to realize, you've been gone doing your life. What you think everybody else been doing? Yeah, y'all connect on social medias, but everybody got their own life. This is why you ask God for purpose and follow what he says to do, because you have no idea what's going on almost a decade ahead of you, after you, whatever it is. So, um, back to the topic, not taking initiative in somebody's life. Like I said, just trying to manifest, this is what you can do, this is what we can do, try to do this, do that. Let somebody tell you what they need, even if you see a need. Some people will come and talk to you, and like my mom used to say, sometimes people just need a sounding board. They don't really want your opinion. They may need to ask for it. There are some people that get insecure and say some things like, well, I thought you would ask me. Well, I told you about so and so and then you didn't say nothing. All right, you know what? I can't be in nobody else's mind. This year, since my birthday, my new year, it's one thing to empathize with somebody, you know, put yourself in their shoes. It's another thing to take their shoes from them. I'm tired of wearing somebody else's shoes, and, even to the point where I'm trying to wear them in for them. That's not what I do. I got my own shoes to fill. Plenty of them. Half of them I still haven't worn. Let me learn and walk in those shoes and, you know, feel those shoes. Feel. Feel. Those shoes. Before I try to feel somebody else's. So I want to tell y'all today, one of the messages I got today is really focus on these open and closed doors. When they close for a reason. If you really trust God, then you know that he's the one that can open and shut them. If they're shut for a reason. And if you are huffing and puffing and trying to blow these doors down, I mean, you almost, trespassing. Even doors in your life that are locked. And it's crazy to me. We'll walk through doors that say keep closed or try to break those down. But we are hesitant and cautious of the ones that say enter here. Do you trust God or you don't? Either you're going to trust him or you're going to walk away. There is no trickery with God. There is discernment with God. And me and my family pray on that every morning. I need to know what to give my energy to and what not to. because I'm quick to probably give my energy to the wrong stuff because I'm feeling some type of way about whatever. I got feelings. We all got them. But I'm quick. I can go from 0 to 100 when I feel need be. I go to God a lot and say, discernment, Lord. God tell me a lot of times a day. I'm going to say more than twice. No, I'm going to need you to back up off of that. I'm gonna need you to not go there. There's certain times that there is a rebuttal in my business. Like I've said before, I work in transportation, import and exports. There's a lot of time for rebuttal. There's times where I'm wrong and I don't like the way people coming at me about being wrong. There's other times that other people are wrong and I'm ready to come at them about being wrong. Sometimes you just know that those extra words, and one thing I tell my friends and my family, remember, sometimes extra words equal extra emotions. There's some conversations I don't want to continue to have. If somebody decides that even in my validity, I've said something that offends them, now here they come back. I don't want to do that. If I'm right and I say it, especially in an email in black and white, and there's people copied in, that's enough for me. It's enough for me. I don't have to say, well, furthermore, look forward to this, do this moving forward. I don't even need to do that. Thank you very much. Look forward to, your update on the mistake. And keep it moving. I don't have the energy to stop somewhere that I'm probably not even supposed to be stopped there. Go and kick down that door. So watch for them closed doors. Those ones that say enter here, I mean, they turn. The knobs turn. And if you're going to go ahead and huff and puff and kick those doors down that are hard to open, that God had closed, then don't be so disappointed by what's so disappointing on the other side, because you've invested time and energy, maybe some money, maybe some love. You invested all that in something that didn't come out to something else or something you had expected. Ask God before you continue to walk down that hallway with all these doors. He's a good guide. It's a good light. He's a good guiding light. And we got to remember to make God our first choice, not our last option. He is that. He's going to help in ways that we couldn't. See, if we keep trying to help people and play God, then they build the dependency on us, not on Him. So we definitely want to pray first. Usually, if somebody comes to me about anything, even advice, I'm like, did you pray about it first? Now, I might even get an opinion because now I done prayed. I might come back and say, this is what I prayed for you. Not that your prayers didn't get heard, but I prayed for you. And I might have an opinion or something that opens yours. Bring a diverse discussion to the table. But more so, I'm praying for that person's discernment. Don't let them waste time, money, energy, love, things we don't have time to waste. We should be treating our energy like money. We don't have money to waste. Count every dollar, every cent. Some of us are careless with money. Well, then you're going to be careless with your time too. Learn to spend more time with God. Definitely. I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and I've had this conversation with my sister as well, that one of the reasons why we might not ask God is because we know He might say no. He might say no to something that we want to. Excuse me. That's my chicken. I told you I'm chilling today, doing my Sunday thing. But He might say no. He might say no to something that we want so badly. So what we do is we try to not ask Him, but let's just see if it works out. Yeah. How did that work out for you? It's always a struggle. And then we want to ask God after we try something. He's like, now you want me to clean up the mess. One thing I learned about God too, though, is when we ask Him to take over something that we've already start growing in, that mess we've already planted, He gonna go ahead and uproot it. He don't just hack off the surface and think that, okay, well, it's just dead on the front, these dead leaves, and He's not pruning. He gonna uproot if you started it. You planted a bad seed. So now he got to uproot it, replant it, water it the way he need to, and you better want to, you want him to be your green thumb, okay? You want him to be your farmer, your planter, your everything, because your hands is probably, tainted a little bit because they still got the desires of your flesh. You want to plant chocolate and, chicken and stuff like that. And he's planting fruit. He's planting the things that nourish us. And one of the verses, he gives you the desires of your heart. And one of the things I learned in Bible study is he'll put some things on your heart that he wants you to desire. So he can go ahead and make it manifest. I mean, his will is going to be done. But there's some things that he knows that you want, and they'll come. I have some things that I've wanted in life that didn't come for years. And I was so happy when I got it. It was cheaper. Everybody didn't have it. One thing I can't stand is fads. Everybody didn't have it. From cars to clothes to kids. I had it when everybody didn't. So I can wait on God. There's a song that says, even in the midst of my waiting, I still get blessings every day. Sister almost said it one day, one of the podcast hosts, love you to death, to new life. Let me get my words together. She said, I'm struggling, but I'm still winning. If that's not the champion mentality that we need to be having, that'll keep you from getting weary for sure. So you might be struggling, but are you still winning? I mean, I'm struggling, but as you can see, I still got lights. I'm eating. Heard my oven. It's got my chicken in it. I'm finding better ways to budget. We got some things going on in the world, but we doing good. We're doing good. Every day, you wake up and you able to do something. Something is not a day to complain. Yeah, so that's pretty much the message I wanted to give to y'all, from God. That he put that on my heart today, and I had a testimony about opening closed doors and taking initiative in other people's lives and what it cost me. And I thought I was doing the right thing. And you got to know when to stop and give it to God. You got to know when to give it to God from the jump. God said if you have two shirts, you give your neighbor one. I don't really, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But this is where we ask God, well, I have a shirt. I have one. And Lord, I'll give it off my back. You better ask him first. Because the word says if you have two, give your neighbor one. Now, if you feel like you love that neighbor that much, that you'll give them the shirt off your back so that you have nothing, then you might want to ask God, is he going to cover you on the back end if you do it your way? God covered me on the back end, but it was, like I said, one of the worst struggles of my life. And I'll never go through it again. So now I ask God, should I do this? Should I do that? There are times I jump a little ahead. I still have that empathy factor. But, and I get my hand slapped. Ooh, look, I'm going to deliver this message. I get my hand slapped. I do. But the hand slap is a reminder. I don't have to step back. I'm not stepping back anymore. I'm walking with God and I'm holding his hand. And when I go to pull away and do it my way and walk my way, depending on what it is, I might get a hand tap. Sometimes he might let go. Some things I tell people, or sometimes I tell people that God doesn't punish. The worst punishment he gives is to be hands off. And we want God to be hands on, right? All the time. So if he gets hands off, we're punished. That hurts. He ain't got his hands on our situation. So walk with God. Talk with God. Ask God, is it something to do? And if you feel like, well, I don't want to ask God because he might say no. I mean, think of him like your father. Same thing I tell my kids. If you know I'm going to say no and you still do it, that's like a deeper punishment. Like that's a deep disobedience. That's not even I said no and you wanted to try it. You thought it and still did it. You didn't even let the situation play out to see if I was going to say yes. So, again, I just wanted to share with y'all tonight about that. Open and closed doors. Pay attention to them. If it's a struggle to open it, just walk away. Even if it's something that you want to open, you've been trying to get it. You might even try to jimmy it. It don't work. All right, walk away. Now, even with that, here comes your discernment. You go to walk down that hall, and all of a sudden that door that was so hard to open, all of a sudden pops open, creaks its little self open, gives you a little light in there. Come on. Need y'all to be smarter than that. Now, that door was closed. It was hard for me to open. I was sitting there going, God, let this door open. And it wouldn't open. But now that I done passed it and said, you know what? I'm over opening that door. I'm over it. Maybe that just wasn't for me. Again, there's no trickery with God. So it's not like he just wanted to see if you was going to be okay. Though those times are different. I mean, again, I can't tell you what levels they go, what tiers they're in. That comes with prayer, time, discernment, relationship with God. You got to get it if you want it, because it's there. Tap in. Um, on another note, yes, definitely tap in with God, because, like I said, I work with uh, import and export. I see what's going on. I'm pretty sure y'all have. If you haven't, then that means you just haven't been ordering nothing. If you're taking a stand, more power to you. But if you have looked at the taxes that we're paying, some things we're ordering online, your taxes are half of what sometimes the item is. I'm noticing different tariffs and stuff, and I'm bringing this up because God is our source, right? He's not a resource. He's not something we use for other people or something like that. He uses people, right? He uses things. So God is our source. Tap into him. Let him provide what you need. Because one thing I'll say about the president and his people is they can't do everything they set out to do, but they are doing some things, and it's causing some stuff. And I'm continually asking people that voted for him, that are for him, what has he done for you lately? Now, if hiring these tariffs and all that is going to promote the jobs and promote within and do all those things, then of course it's a waiting game. We're going to have to wait. Then we're going to talk about, well, it's only his first year. We know he's done a lot in his first months. But a lot of the good things that we're learning about him is he can't just speak it and it's so, like he God. It don't work like that. One thing I can say that he taught us was that he can't just speak it and it's so. I do believe, like I told y'all before, I still stand strong in we the people. And when there's something that's not right, I'm glad we do have some people in position that say, I mean, that just ain't right. It just don't sound right. We're going to put it on the back burner, or we just going to veto it all together. He just cannot speak it so. But there are some things of concern, like tariffs going up. And I had a meeting with some people to talk about it. And one of the things that came up that I thought was funny, but not funny, is so I work in import, export, and air freight and sea freight, totally different. You want your stuff in 3 days, or you want it in 7 to 2 weeks, 7 days to 2 weeks. The prices are going to be different. Normally, us the consumers may not see it on the end, but the distributors will see it like that. So, it got brought up that there's some different pricing going on and different tariff ratings in that, and it said that a lot of people would like to go move their stuff ocean because it's cheaper. There are a lot of people who are saying we can put certain things on the back burner, things that are needed for emergencies, cars, stuff like that. They'll go ahead and pay that, but for the most part now they're gonna send it ocean. Well, just like any common dictator, you find out where the people are resourcing, outsourcing, and you try to control that as well. So, fun fact was that he wanted to tax it so bad and put tariffs on things so bad that he's willing to research and find out where the ocean liner was made. Well, if the ocean liner was made in certain areas, that's what I'm going to tax the ocean liner itself. So he's found another way. Again, there's certain things he can do, certain things he can't do. And there's more to come on that. I just, like I said, fun fact with y'all, or with that for y'all, is that he's finding ways to do still what may not be lawful, to make his word bond, and it could or could not be at the price of us. So you want to stay tapped in, but you want to be stay connected with God, because no matter what he does, you'll be okay if you connected with God. And some things he'll tell you is coming again, up on the curve. He'll close them doors, he'll open some doors, he'll put on your heart to start saving some money, start listening, start doing what you're supposed to do. So yeah, that was a fun fact, and more to come about that. Like I said, I'm not trying to start y'all off on a bad week. I really want y'all to just pay attention to what's going on, open and closed doors, stuff like that. It was another thing I wanted to say while we're talking about how the presidency is doing what they want to do. Another funny fact, not really funny, is I read that they will be lowering the GPA of teachers to fill the void that they have of teachers. So you're going to lower the GPA of educators who are educating our children to fill the need, instead of just hiring the pay, or I'm sorry, raising the pay and the salaries of the actual educators who took the education, who took the psychological classes, who took all these things that are necessary for you to teach my child how to function in the world. Now you're going to lower the GPA. And it's funny, I had a talk with one of my daughter's teachers, last week, and I told her about it. And her first question when I said they're going to be lowering the GPA was, to what? And I said, I don't think it matters. I mean, whatever it is that the GPAs are holding right now that has you required to be a teacher, or has the requirement for you to be that teacher, that's what you need to have. That's the psychological levels you need to have, all those things. We should be doing that. But I knew something was going awry when, like I told y'all before, they have now hiring signs on the outside of the dang schools. What do you mean? I just fill in an application and come get an interview right on the spot? And if I got a nice smile and a good personality, then I'm almost a shoo-in for the job. Can I work proficiently in Outlook so I can read the curriculum, print out some papers, give it to the students? Can I understand it as much as they do? I don't like that my daughter can graduate at a higher GPA than her teacher. That's a little concerning to me. So like I told the teachers before, this is where I start to make the decisions, as most parents do. Do I want my kids to go to this school, that school? What is it going to cost me? Things like that. But watch out for that. These schools that are, they got buses schedules all over the place. They can't find bus drivers. My daughter's bus is late every day, and you can see where they switched it. They had to use this bus, that bus. Are you going to lower the driving requirements or the driving records to fill bus drivers? Because I don't want Jimmy that had even one DUI driving my daughter. My preference. I just don't want it, because you're trying to just fill the space. So again, there's other things that we got to be concerned about. Education wise, we still have kids that are in school. I heard some things about Trump doing this, shortening the work week and all this other stuff. When it comes to people, flesh, I believe it when I see it. God is the only thing that I can believe, and I don't have to see. Because even if it came to believing is, or seeing is believing, I've seen enough of what God can do that none of y'all know about, and He made me believe. So when it comes to Trump, seeing is believing. So, like I said, one thing that he is showing me that made me feel good about his presidency, that it's not up to the president to just say it is so. You can't do it like that. One thing Obama said was, I mean, I have a boss too. Y'all keep putting stuff on me. I have a boss too. So I'm seeing that, and that did good for me. That showed that we the people still have some type of say, because we still have some type of balance with some people who are not letting some stuff go. So stand on that, hold to that, start to speak about stuff that's not wrong. There's some parents that just ain't involved. There's some people that's just not involved, and they are the biggest complainers. Well, that's because you didn't know what was going on, and when it hit the fan, now you're mad about it. even if you knew about it and it hit the fan, at least you knew it was coming. It might have been a little more prepared. Go back into discernment and listening to what's going on. Even though I watch the news and I hear what's going on, I see what's going on at work, I still go, God, you saw it? Cool. As long as you saw it, you hear everything, you see every struggle, I'm just to follow him, not him follow me. Not me make the plans for other people's lives and take initiative and kick open doors. Nah. If you don't have a plan because you got with God, I really don't know what to tell you. Um, I gotta be careful where I get involved in things that don't really evolve me. God ain't gonna have me involved where I'm not gonna evolve. So I want y'all to take that with you. Uh, Ran a little over tonight, but I had a message, and I really want y'all to get that. So I got some good things coming up. I got a guest on my next show. And I think it's gonna be maybe a 2 to 3 part series. It's gonna be really good. The topic is gonna be therapy. Let me just give y'all that little nugget. Um, should I or should I not type of thing. You know, what could it or could it not do for me? And I'm getting a lot of different perspectives on it, whole lot of diverse discussions on it. So I definitely want to bring all of it to business. So I'll be doing something like that. I'll be posting some things. God, let me make sure I never get off of a show without telling Queen Angela, much props to you, much love to you. You're always doing something, man. She got so much going on, I can't keep up. She's got events coming up. You connect with this woman, you're gonna be doing a whole lot of things too. She's New York, Chicago. Got a thing coming up in South Carolina. Like, I'm just getting ready to just have to repost. I can't even really tell y'all about it. She's done so much. One thing I'm learning about her is she's very well connected, and whatever she can't do or can do, she's still passing it on. I got a great opportunity coming up for an interview for an LA magazine, and that was really cool. Never imagined it in my life. Reaching out to me because of her. So I know people who connect with her, they end up writing a book. It's getting published. They're doing a book signing. They're having some type of celebration, all from her name. Even just her name rings bells, which lets me know that she's been 10 toes down in everything she does and kept her word, because everything she said would happen has happened. So much love to you, Miss Angela. I didn't really get to talk about the 100 authors movement. Yeah, y'all doing great. Y'all doing big things. So I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited and honored to even be a part of that. Being able to show up. I was in a book, y'all. I didn't really get to tell y'all about that. Like I said, been going through a lot with Aries season. My company's doing different things. And I'm finna get into all that. So y'all stay tuned. Thank y'all for joining me. We'll see what comes up next. All right. Thank you. Bad to business.